provide the community with an update on the lawsuit that was filed by a parent of a former Chatham Middle School against the school district and the several employees in the district. And the lawsuit alleged that the school district violated her child's constitutional rights under the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment. The complaint was filed by Libby Hilsenrath in January of 2018 in the United States District Court. And again, it alleged that the curriculum and the materials in the 7th grade World Culture and Geography course promoted and favored the religion of Islam at the expense of Christianity and Judaism. Now, if I can, just some of the board members weren't here for that fun time, and some of the folks maybe I just want to catch up on a little bit, summarize very quickly what had happened. So first, not unusual, on a board meeting February 6, 2017, Libby Hilsenrath expressed opposition for the study of Islam in her child's 7th grade class in social studies during the public commentary. Nothing unusual about that. We just saw that recently with social injustice and racial injustice. Some of our students questioned that. Maybe prior to that, if some remember the middle school math program. So it's not unusual for parents to express opposition for a particular course or material or subject matter. So at that meeting, Dr. LaSouza, I distinctly remember, responded to the speaker at the time, and he noted that the teaching of Islam is part of the New Jersey core curriculum. And if you recall, Dr. LaSouza and the 2 supervisors recently said, what we teach is established by the state standards. How we teach it is really the art and where Chatham shines. So Dr. LaSouza had responded during that meeting that teaching world religion is a part of social studies standards. It was 6.2, he quoted it off the top of his head. Of course, I had to look it up. But 6.2 in part calls for students to compare and contrast tenets of various world religions, their patterns of expansionism, and the response to the current events and challenges in globalization. At the time, the board had said that they would take the matter back to the Curriculum and Policy Committee, which we did do, but in the meantime, Ms. Hilsenrath went on national television on February 20th and made some patently false statements about the district, specifically that our curriculum crossed the line because it teaches one religion and not all others. And another quote, this about the 3rd sentence into the interview, no other religion is taught. Now, I don't know if those folks that were around recall, but it was that last statement that garnished dozens and dozens of hate mail, violent, vulgar mail to the district, violent threats against our employees, violent threats against our employees' families, death threats against our employees, physical harm to our school buildings, and this went on for a while. One threat was so credible that the federal authorities had to get involved. The police were involved at every step of the way. We had to post police outside of the middle school, and I forget how many weeks we had a police officer stationed outside of Dr. LaSouza's office. Some of the threats were benign and nonsensical. Just to get a little light-headed, a little light-hearted here, one of the threats, one of my favorites, was to Dr. LaSouza, you should be delivering pizza for a living instead of teaching curriculum. But many of them were violent and vulgar. I apologize to some of the board members that had to listen to extensive recordings, and I can't even repeat some of the language that was used. One full year after all that happened, a full year, January 2018, Libby Hilsenrath filed a lawsuit against the district and employees. The district then answered that lawsuit, of course denying any allegations and denied that the curriculum violated the students' rights. We maintained that the curriculum and the materials were in compliance with the board's policies and the New Jersey education standards. And after more than 2.5 years of discovery, which included hours of this district's time, Dr. LaSouza, the supervisor, the teachers that were sued, with spending time with our attorneys, their attorneys, depositions that went on for hours and hours. In May of this year, we filed for a summary of judgment to the judge, which just means, based on the discovery, is there enough to move forward, or is there enough to dismiss the claims? So now, just to catch you up to last week, on November 12th, the school district received a decision from the United States District Court, Judge Kevin McNulty. Judge McNulty ruled that the school district, or any of the employees, did not violate the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment. The judge determined that the curriculum on the study about Islam had a valid secular purpose to educate students about the world's major religions, and that the board did not exceed its educational mandate. The course did not convey a message of favoring Islam over other religions. And based on these determinations, the judge granted the district's motion for summary judgment, resulting in a dismissal of the complaint filed by Ms. Hilsenrath in its entirety. I just want to note that the lawsuit was dismissed with prejudice for failure to state a claim, and when a lawsuit is dismissed with prejudice, the court is basically saying that it's made a final decision on the merits of the case, and that the plaintiff, Libby Hilsenrath, is prohibited from filing another lawsuit based on the same grounds. Of course, you can always sue on any grounds, but on those grounds, you're prohibited from filing another lawsuit. So the judge's decision is a complete vindication of the board, the district administration, and its teachers. So to say the least, we're very happy with the judgment. But more importantly, here's the thing. Our students are on a 13-year journey